What's up investors and welcome back to the channel. Before we get into the video today, I want to say thank you. In the past 2 weeks we've just hit 5,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for your support, you guys are amazing and I feel blessed to have you as subscribers to the channel. So today I'll be looking at METAMATERIALS. This is a company that I covered on the channel over the past few months, starting back when this was only $2 before it ran up to eventually hitting its high of $20. So guys, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button and stay up to date whenever I find a new stock that's about to make huge gains. Incredibly, nearly 85% of you out there watching my videos are still unsubscribed. Subscribe and find out about these stocks before I make a video instead of finding my videos after the stocks have made huge gains. It costs you nothing, but it could make you a ton of money. So today we'll be looking at an article looking at recent developments at METAMATERIALS. We will look at the latest news and latest financial statements before I take a look at the charts, and I'll give you my conclusion on Meta. Before we get into the video, it takes a lot of time to do this research, so if you find any value in this video, can I ask you to smash that like button? It literally costs nothing, but it helps me out so much. Previous metamaterial videos on the channel have over 700 likes between them. Thanks so much for the support. I'm aiming to get another 300 likes on this. Help me make it happen. I want to point out that I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. Now let's get into it. So usually in my videos I spend a few minutes going over what the company does, their business model, their addressable market, stuff like that. But to keep this video short, I'm going straight in to the latest Seeking Alpha article. If you don't already know about METAMATERIALS, check out this video that I made back in July that covers all the basics that you need to know. You can find this in the top right hand corner of the screen. So this Seeking Alpha article was published on Wednesday. And it's a very interesting read, so let's have a look through this and then afterwards I will look at the most recent financial statements of both companies mentioned here. METAMATERIALS is set to leverage on scaling with the acquisition of Nanotech Security, who have 11,000 acres of land and no outstanding debt. Nanotech Security found it hard assessing liquidity needed to drive growth. This is where METAMATERIALS enters the picture. The author here starts with comparing METAMATERIALS over the past few months with GameStop and its meme stock status, but highlights that this is not what the article is about. So METAMATERIALS' acquisition of Nanotech Security is expected to close in October 2021, in a deal estimated to cost $71.7 million. MMAT is expected to grow its production facility with this investment as well as expand its in-house capability. With the world moving towards renewable energy, the integration of metamaterials and nanocomposites is bound to increase. METAMATERIALS may shift its reliance on semiconductors due to the current global shortage. Now, if you're not aware of this global problem, this is something that has been causing issues across nearly every industry in the world. Everything from new cars right down to the phone in your pocket relies on these chips, and there is no near-term fix to this shortage at the moment. I've spoken about this in a recent analysis I did on Atomera Incorporated, who in my opinion offer one of the only viable solutions. Anyways, the semiconductor supply shortage and operational challenges led to METAMATERIALS reporting a net loss of $5.8 million in Q2 2021 despite lowering costs by 47%. In nanotechnology, semiconductors are transferred into pure conductors, thereby helping to create insulators. MMAT will hope to shift from the semiconductor methods by this purchase. Nanotech Security has an annual production capacity above 7 million square meters of high volume nano imprint lithology. METAMATERIALS is operating a new product development facility with a capacity of 68,000 square feet. It will harness Nanotech's capacity to lower production costs in comparison to its energy intensive semiconductor procedures. And this is where the acquisition gets interesting. MMAT stands to benefit from an integration of color optics that are used in facial integrations. Nanotech Security provides image security features applicable in high-level corporate structures and government facilities. Commercialization of print works, such as banknotes, will help METAMATERIALS turn into a revenue-generating system. The company will sell the security features used in banknotes to central banks. Here, MMAT's intellectual property rights will help secure the deal and promote business operations with the central banks. First off, Meta will work to double Nanotech's production capacity from a 7 million square meter to 15 million square meters by 2023. The Nova Scotia facility by Meta stands to expand with increased production capability. Now this is something that I've spoken about in previous videos. Metamaterials has huge patents across many patent families, and this will grow, seeing Nanotech has already offered 47 patents to its security features, with 22 patents forthcoming. Overall, this will give Metamaterials well over 150 patents. Nanotech's limited ability to assess capital will be solved by the acquisition. We expect the company to utilize Meta's high technological prowess to diversify business and access various markets, and MMAT is expected to advance its 5G business development rollout with this acquisition. Now, the author of this article has got their financial analysis completely wrong. Most of these figures are completely different to the real actual figures. So let's look at the most recent financial statements of both of these companies. The most important part of any company's finances is the statement of financial position. We can see here that Metamaterials has total assets of 460 million and total liabilities of 93 million. This gives Meta an asset to liability ratio of 5:1. From this, we have total current assets of 230 million, which is mainly made up of 154 million in cash and 72 million in assets held for sale, while total current liabilities amounts to 87 million. This gives Meta a current ratio of about 3:1, which is fantastic to see. Growth stage loss-making companies like Metamaterials need to have plenty of cash on hand to fund their operations, expansion plans and upcoming acquisitions. So this is a very healthy balance sheet. The only thing that I don't like to see on any balance sheet, and I see it here, is this goodwill figure, which is recorded as the largest asset on the balance sheet of $217 million. But even if we disregard this, there is still a significant asset ratio of 3:1. So this is nothing to worry about. Looking at the income statement, we can see that there is very little revenue, but that the revenue figure is increasing quarter over quarter, which gives Metamaterials a net loss for the period of 3 months of $5 million. Now the net loss for the 6-month period here is 49 million, which really catches my attention, and this is mainly made up of this 40 million loss on financial instruments. So let's take a look at the notes to the accounts to analyze what has happened here. So this is addressed down here on page 32 of the notes to the accounts. The net loss of 40.3 million, non-cash realized loss in the statement of operations. This significant increase in the fair value of the convertible financial liabilities is due to the significant increase of the company's stock price from just 66 cents as at December 31st, 2020 to each of these prices here in blue on these dates. The company elected to account for fluctuations in the share price using the fair value method. This accounting method calls for the company to use fair value of the convertible financial liabilities at each balance sheet date and to record any fluctuations in the value as non-cash adjustments relating to instrument-specific credit risk. The recorded loss is a non-cash expense and had no impact on shareholders' equity at June 30th, 2021. So in basic English, this loss has not affected shareholders in any way, nor has it affected the company's cash flow in any way. This is a loss on paper only that has arisen from the fact that the company's share price has increased so much since December 2020. To put this in perspective, if the company's share price had gone down instead of up, then we would not be looking at an adjustment for a loss, we would be looking at an adjustment for a profit on the decrease of the fair value of these convertible liabilities. Moving on to Nanotech, we can see that they have total assets of 26.6 million and total liabilities of 2.7 million. This gives them an asset to liability ratio of nearly 10:1, which is fantastic. Although they only have cash of 2 million and their inability to acquire additional working capital financing, which would have been preventing the growth of the company. Once Meta acquired the company, this is no longer a problem. Looking at Nanotech's P&L, we can see that they have revenue for the 3-month period of 2.6 million, giving a gross profit of 1.9. This is a really good gross profit margin of about 70%. After deducting expenses, the company has a net loss for the period of 250,000. But I think that with increased revenue from increased production, Nanotech will be profitable very soon. Looking at market beat, we can see that Metamaterials is at the higher end of its 50-day range, but at the lower end of its 52-week range, with a market cap of just $1.45 billion and a trading volume on average of about 24 million. And we can see that in the last quarter, institutional buying was up $126 million with major institutional owners being BlackRock, Vanguard, Anson Funds, and State Street. So looking at the chart since the 1st of January, we can see that MetaMaterials is currently up over 260% year to date. The stock had a spike up here in February to over $8 and reached heights again of over $20 in June at the time of the merger with TRCH. I made my first MetaMaterials video here on the 27th of May, just before this huge run up. So if you guys are new here, hit the subscribe button and stay up to date whenever I find a new stock that is about to make huge gains. As I said already, incredibly nearly 85% of my viewers are still unsubscribed. Subscribe and find out about these stocks as soon as I make a video instead of finding my videos after the stocks have made huge gains. It costs you nothing, but it could make you a ton of money. And join the Facebook group where I often talk about stocks before I even get a chance to make a video about them. Looking closer at the charts over the past month, we can see that the stock has been moving in this general upward channel, bouncing off these lines of support and resistance, whilst also consistently recording higher highs and higher lows. Over the past 9 or 10 days, the stock has been moving sideways in this channel indicated by those purple lines. I fully expect to see an upward breakout movement within the next 5 to 10 days, reaching a range between the high 6s and the low 8s. So guys, that brings us to the end of the video. Before I give you my final thoughts, if you've watched all the way through, then hit that like button. It really helps the channel out a lot. If you're new, subscribe and hit the bell notification, follow me on Twitter and join the Facebook group, all links below. So what do I think right now? I'm very excited to see what the future holds for Meta. In previous videos we looked at the investors page and we've seen that there's a huge total addressable market for metamaterials over the coming decade. And the projections from that presentation do align closely with other projections I've seen while researching other companies for the channel. So I think the opportunity to attain even a small percentage of the market would be incredible. I forgot to mention this earlier in the video, but this coming week is MetaMaterials 2021. This is running in New York from tomorrow, September 20th to September 25th. I'll put a link in the description to this. In my opinion, this is a great time to be buying into this stock while it is once again on the up. And with the upcoming acquisition of Nanotech due to be announced in the coming weeks, along with other press releases which could provide very strong catalysts to drive the stock further upwards. I recently seen a very similar situation at Eilers International, and I said the same thing. That stock gained over 500% in the past month to record all-time highs on Friday. In my opinion, we could be about to see another good run in the coming weeks at Meta. But this is just my opinion. If anyone is thinking about buying this stock, I encourage you to do your own research and make informed decisions with the knowledge that you gain from that research. As I said before, I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. Thanks for watching the video. What are your thoughts on the future of MetaMaterials? And what do you think are key developments for the company going forward? What's your price target? Leave a comment down below and I'll catch you in the next update.